Hello, music fans. My name is Steven. I'll be your host, and welcome back to the Aroundtable. Today, I'll be talking about some of the albums that are turning 45 in 2023. And my God, time has flew by. I remember a lot of these albums like they were yesterday, and I still shake my head in doubt about this. This is going to probably go a couple of sessions, couple of videos on this one. So bear with me. I'll try to make them short and sweet. But these are some of the albums in my collection that I love, that I go back to. They are going through this amazing milestone, and I am still in shock of how time flies on this. First up, I'm going to go with Journey Infinity. This is the first album where Steve Perry joins the band, and of course, that phase brings them their greatest commercial success. On this album, he wrote 8 out of the 10 tracks, so that shows the impact he instantly had on this band. And for good reason, he's going to be the driving force for many years. And unfortunately, he didn't stay. He does leave, come back, leave, and Journey has been having multiple singers for years until what's his name? Ariel Parnell. If I'm Forgive me if I'm saying the name wrong. I can't recall right now, but you know who I'm talking about. Journey fans, you know who I'm talking about. The guy's been there for longer than Steve Perry has, but there is no doubt that this is the album that started the Steve Perry era, and it's their biggest commercial success with him in it. Next up is another juggernaut of an album that, again, I'm shaking my head that it's 45 years. Van Halen's debut album came out also in 1978. You have songs like Running with the Devil, Ain't Talking About Love, and you cannot not mention the instrumental, the classic, the one that set off a million guitarists in this world, if not more, Eddie Van Halen's Eruption. What else can you say? But this album still gives me, I'm having goosebumps talking about this album. It hit me hard 45 years ago as it hits me hard today. There's a magic on that album you can't put your finger on. There's no way to describe the energy, the synergy between Roth's ringmaster charismatic personality and Eddie Van Halen's technical prowess, and these forces joining together combusted into this mixture of just sheer joy. And I can't tell you how much I still love this album. I am a Van Halen fan till the day I die, and I will listen to every era, but because of this album, it started it all. And I can go back to it, and it doesn't seem 45 years old. You can put it on now, and I think people will be blown away with it. Next up is Elvis Costello, this year's model. This is the first album where he brings in the Attractions, who will become his backup band for years to come. Songs like Pumpin' Up and Radio Radio are probably the biggest hits off that album, or most recognizable songs on that album, and he does play them in his live set from time to time, especially Pump It Up for sure. Next up is another album, Paul McCartney and Wings. May not be the greatest Wings album of all time, but it has flashes of brilliance. With a Little Luck is one of those songs that it can be played anytime, and I'll stop to listen to it. Little time of turmoil again with that album. Lineup changes. Paul and Linda having their third child. That kind of dragged on the recording sessions, and perhaps they lost focus on that album. I'm not sure they knew where they wanted to go at one point, but it is a good album anyways. Not a classic. It's nowhere near Band on the Run, that's for sure, but still a decent album from Paul McCartney and Wings. Next up, we have Cheap Trick, Heaven Tonight. Lost fans will think that their first 3 albums. This one is one of those 3 albums that is the quintessential Cheap Trick discography. Are they right? I don't know. They came up with a couple latter day albums. Rockford, I would have to say, is probably another phenomenal album. This album's, I would say, the title track is one of my favorites, and of course, you could not forget the song "Surrender." It's a classic on classic rock stations, and for a reason. Doesn't seem like 45 years ago. It's an album you can put on today, and I think people would enjoy it. Last for this first part of this 45-year anniversary video segment, it will be Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Stranger in Town came out in May 1978. Bob Seger did about 5 or 6 songs per day, took the best mix and chose that as the songs to go on the album, and it paid off in spades. This album sold 6 million copies. It's still one of my favorites. Stranger in Town. Most people probably will know Old Time Rock and Roll. You've seen it in Risky Business where Tom Cruise slides across the floor in his glasses and his underwear. That was the biggest hit. Love that album. Still go back to it today. Again, can't believe it's 45, but it is what it is. So this is Stephen with part one of albums celebrating 45, their 45th anniversary in 2023. I'll get back to you with part two. Let me know what you think of these. We'd love to hear from you. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. This is Stephen from the Roundtable, signing off.